This Choircast podcast is brought to you by Better Living Through Literature, How Books Change Lives and Sometimes History. Going all the way back to Plato, genius thinkers have explored the impact of poetry, fiction, and drama. Better Living surveys the great debates, from the early philosophers to Jane Austen and Percy Shelley, to contemporary battles over multiculturalism and book bans. In the process, it shares compelling accounts of lives transformed by literature. Better Living is available now on Amazon.
Hey heathens, you're listening to the Deadly Faith Podcast where religion and crime collide. I'm Lola.
And I'm Laci.
And this shit is reprehensible.
The mind that was in Jesus, that mind is in me.
Without me, life has no meaning.
Why would God tell you what I'm thinking and tell you what I've said to my wife or my husband when you're not around? It's because I'm the pastor of the church and I need to know.
This is the only place where you can see truth.
Oh, girl.
I cashed in my triple word score. Oh, yeah. I cashed it in.
You using them big words.
I know. I don't use them often, so. Don't agree with that I don't use big words.
It was just like an automatic response. Like,
I'm just a girl.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, about just a girl, too. Let me just say this. The other day, Andrew came home. And listen, he was a little stinky because he worked hard all day in the sun. And I was like, stinky boy, take a shower. And he said, I'm just a girl. And he rolled over on the bed and feigned devastation. I'm just a girl. And it's all I can think about now when I say just a girl.
Just a girl. Oh my gosh, he cracks me up.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to see you guys. I get to see them in 2 days.
Yes. By the time this comes out.
Yeah. I will be there and back. You know? Yeah.
But we're very excited. It's going to be the best slumber party ever.
It's going to be so exciting. I'm so
best
excited.
Weekend ever.
I need
a
break.
World.
I need a break from my kiddos. I love them to death. They're the sweetest little.
But still, you need girl time. You need bread. You need fruit. You need the many teas that I offer.
I need
whether it's gossip or real tea.
Yes, or anxiety. I'll take all of it.
Anxiety. Yeah, I agree.
I'm excited. I'm super excited. But yeah, with this case,
you know nothing.
I know nothing. I know the names, and honestly, I can't even tell you the names. I typed them into the title like an hour ago, and I can't even remember what I typed in. So I literally
Michael and Cindy Reese.
Okay, let's talk about these little gremlins.
You almost said little shits. You don't have any idea.
I know, I'm like gremlins or sunshine and rainbows. I have no idea.
Let's talk about these little folks. These little folks.
We interrupt today's episode to bring you a message from our sponsor, Javy. Say goodbye to chaotic mornings and hello to delicious, convenient coffee. With Javy's coffee concentrate in a variety of flavors, you can whip up your favorite brew in no time. Whether you prefer hot, iced, or even blended coffee, Javy's got you covered, okay? Just a teaspoon of this magic elixir is all you need for a flavorful kickstart to your day. Trust me, once you try it, you'll be hooked. From classic flavors like vanilla and caramel to decadent options like cookies and cream and caramel brulee, Javy literally has something for every coffee lover. As a mom with 3 kids, 2 dogs, 3 bunnies, and 25 chickens, I love how Javy helps me make a delicious iced coffee every morning in under 2 minutes. Seriously, guys, it's just so quick. You just pour it all together, stir it in, and enjoy. My favorite flavor right now is the caramel brulee. But I did just order the cookies and cream along with the decaf so I can enjoy an afternoon or evening coffee without jacking up my sleep schedule. They've got original and they've got even more other flavors to come. They've got mocha as well. You really don't want to miss this. So if you want to save some time each morning and even a little money, or if you just want to try a damn good cup of coffee, try Javy today. Don't wait. Click the link in the show notes and use code Laci33468 at checkout to enjoy 20% off your purchase. Again, click the link in the show notes and use code Laci33468 at checkout. And that is Laci with an I. Enjoy that 20% off, guys, and back to the show. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, so trigger warnings real quick. We have murder, deception, and infidelity. That's all. Short list.
Short list, but some major
But they pack a punch, don't they?
Punch.
They do. Yeah. So this is a smaller case. If you consume true crime, you probably won't know it.
I like that.
To be honest. Because it's so tiny, it happens in a teensy town in Alabama. Oh yeah. And this town I am so familiar with. I've driven the entirety of it several times. I used to go to church there. Like, it is very much the tiniest town possible that I've seen.
Oh my gosh. So we're coming into your neck of the woods.
I know. It is called Morris, Alabama.
Oh.
Morris. And you know what? I'm going to probably take you to it.
Yeah. I'm down.
So I can show you where this happened at. I can show you their house. I can show you the police station and everything.
Nice. I like that.
Okay. So yeah, this happens in Morris, Alabama. It is a close-knit community. Because it's so small, everyone knows each other. And like, I'm not exaggerating. Everyone knows each other. Because almost everyone goes to church in the same like 2 or 3 spots down there. So that's how you grow up and know each other.
Yeah.
Things like murder don't happen here.
Normally.
At all. Very, very low crime rate. Like, it's a very safe little country town. It's cute, okay? It's real cute.
Yeah.
So February 18th of 2015, a 911 call comes in from Cindy Reese of Morris, Alabama. And she sounds scared. She states that she has just come home and she thinks that the house has been broken into. She says, I see a table that's been knocked over with some stuff cast on the floor. And she's saying, I'm not able to find my husband. I don't know where my husband is. And he's supposed to be home. So the home that they lived in was directly across the street from the police station. So the response time is record time, Yeah.
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 Lucky.
The police officers, they arrive very, very quickly. And some of them take her to the side to like console her because she is like losing it, panicking. Yeah. And then the other ones are going to go in to look for Michael. Now, Michael and Cindy Reese, they're well known in this area, and especially by the police officers that they live right next to. So they automatically know who she's talking about when she says, I can't find my husband. So they enter the house and they see the overturned table with all the shit laying on the floor. And it's right inside the door that this has happened. And then directly down the hallway, they see some feet.
Not what you want to see.
Someone's lying on the ground.
Yeah.
Someone's lying on the ground. So, the couple had been adding on a like extra room to their house. So if you open the front door and you look straight down, it's a hallway that's straight down. And at the very end of the hallway was where they were adding on.
Okay.
So it's a straight shot. It's very easy to see. They saw this literally right as they walked in the door, which is kind of weird. You couldn't find him? Anyway.
Yeah, I was literally about to say the same thing. You're like, they walk in and they're like, we see feet. And she's like, I can't find him.
I can't find him anyway.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah. So, like I said, they saw some feet. And so they immediately go back there and see a body that's lying on the ground. And automatically they identify the body as 40-year-old Michael Reese, killed by one gunshot to the back of the head.
One shot to the back of the head. So he was taken out. Like without even knowing it, just like you're out.
Yeah, he probably most likely had his back turned.
Yeah.
And it was at like close range.
Yeah.
That this happened. So yeah, so they automatically identify it as Michael, and they are extremely upset because like Michael is a friend in the community. So they were like, ugh, how did this happen? This is so dumb, It's so stupid and reckless. And it definitely just looks like a robbery that's gone wrong,
Yeah.
So officers were like noting everything in the house at that point. And one thing specifically, I'm going to take you to this place too. Okay.
I'm excited.
So, Alabama is known for Milo's. Milo's is only in Alabama. It is an eatery. It's a popular burger joint.
Okay.
They have like shakes and chicken tenders and fries and stuff like that. It's very good.
Sounds delicious.
Very good.
Love food.
It's iconic. You may have seen Milo's sweet tea in Walmart.
Yeah.
That's Milo's. That's our Milo's. So we started that whole like sweet tea, Milo sweet tea thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's amazing. So cool. Super. Yeah, we're definitely doing that because there's one literally like right next to me. So
sweet.
Yeah, we're going to go eat there. It's great. So officers are noting that there is a Milo's bag with an untouched burger and fries, a sweet tea on the table inside the house.
Oh, okay.
So this is going to come back later. Just know that we have a great respect for it. And everyone in Alabama knows there's some specific things about when you eat from Milo's. I'll talk about it later.
Okay.
Just know that Milo's was there.
Okay.
So the news obviously spreads quickly that there's a murder because it's night and suddenly police officers are over there. There's a ruckus.
Yeah.
There's a kerfuffle happening. So neighbors are coming out. They're seeing it. They're calling everybody up. Like, what's happening? Jimmy John down the street.
Did you hear?
Did you hear? Deborah Ray? Yeah. Within hours of the investigation launching, pretty much the whole city is notified of what's happening. Michael was a very sweet guy. He was funny. He was a strong person. Very well respected. He was actually a computer genius. He worked in IT at St. Vincent's Hospital, which is just in downtown Birmingham. It's a great hospital. I was born there, actually.
Aww.
Yeah. So he worked there in the IT department, and he was just incredibly smart, and his coworkers looked up to him, and he was just a great dude to get along with. So I have his obituary, which I will have us link. You can see it's one of those obituaries that underneath it, people can add comments or write their own. Yeah. Write something about their. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of really nice ones on there. You can just tell that he was so he was admired and he was just so sweet. Everyone talks about how sweet and kind he was.
Yeah.
And we'll see this later on in the case too, that he just wholesome dude. So
why is it always the wholesome dudes that get taken out? This is some bullshit.
I know it is some bullshit. So friends and family posted some wonderful things. Please check it out. So Cindy, let's go back to her. She is devastated, like the rest of the community. This actually isn't the first time that she has lost a spouse.
Where's my red flag button? We really need to get a red flag button.
I know. Yeah, so her first husband, unfortunately, committed suicide by a gunshot to the head.
Are we?
And this is about 8 years prior to this incident.
Are we sure about that? That's just my question. You can keep going. This won't come up again, but this did make officers, when they were doing the investigation, they reopened that case because they were so suspicious about it being a single gunshot wound, just like how Michael's was. Yeah.
But upon further investigation, they found that there wasn't sufficient evidence to, pin it on her as a murder or anything. So unfortunately,
were they able to conclusively rule it as a suicide?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
They were. Mm-hmm. Okay. Which is super unfortunate. But after this happened, Cindy had obviously become super withdrawn. She was understandably depressed after this happened with the loss of her first husband. She just wasn't herself anymore. Mm-hmm. So let me backpedal to Michael and Cindy's love story, because this death of her first husband kind of plays into it.
Oh, okay.
A little bit. Not like in a bad way. So Michael and Cindy started dating 2 years after her first husband had, committed suicide. And they were very, very happy together. The life came back into them both is how everyone described it. So like they both apparently had gone through some shit. Michael had been married before, and she kind of shattered his heart. So he was not expecting to find love again, but he welcomed it. He was very happy to find Cindy. They were introduced by mutual friends, and they were just you could tell that they were so into each other, so in love. It was really nice seeing them get to become good friends and fall in love together. So
these stories always like
so sweet
when it's like they're so beautiful and they loved each other and it was like the perfect this and perfect that and like everything was like magical and sunshine, rainbows and unicorns. And it's like, what the fuck happened to like flip?
It's so sad too. I mean, someone had mentioned to me the other day that like after, is it like 5 to 7 years of being with someone, or like being married, that like you hit this, I guess like a rut of sorts where like you become disinterested in each other or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if that's true. And I've not heard it from several people. I just like the other day someone told me about it and I was like, what?
I can see that. Like definitely like my marriage has not been the same. Like it changes and it has changed multiple times throughout the, over a decade. We've been 12 years we've been married, but it's
supposed to evolve.
It's because we are growing as people and our family's growing. Like there are times where like life is more stressful and our relationship is taken a back burner because we have kids and shit's going on or we're moving or like shit's happening. But that you get into more of like day-to-day life mode and not like falling in love with each other kind of mode. And so that is something you have to like cherish and make it to happen. You've got to baby it. And
you've got to put in the effort.
You have to foster that. Yeah, you have to foster that in your relationship.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, I think it's possible that they hit this in this situation. So they married after dating for about a year, and faith was the foundation of the relationship and of the marriage.
Oh, okay.
Did you forget that this was called Deadly Faith?
I know, right? That is right.
Yeah. So Michael joined Cindy's church, which is Sardis Baptist. It is still a church. It is still a thing. It's ran by completely different people now, though.
Okay. Yeah. Typical.
But some older members that go there, they remember Michael and Cindy.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he joined her church. Cindy was the music director there. Michael had grown up Methodist, but he was baptized into her church, like without hesitation. This is how all in and wholesome this man is. Like, he was like, whatever you want, baby,
And that's a pretty big difference in faith.
Yeah.
Like denomination wise, like Methodist to Baptist.
Yeah, because Methodist is more borderline like Catholic. That's Methodist broke off from the Catholic Church.
Yeah. So. And they're more, and they always have been a little bit more progressive with their beliefs and things like that.
True.
And then Baptist is
much more cutthroat,
conservative,
fire and brimstone.
Yeah. Fundamentalist type. Yeah.
But without hesitation, he jumped in. He was there.
Anything for you, baby.
That's it. If for 5 years, they were golden. They were great. There was no issue. But at least that's what we thought.
Right.
That's what everyone thought.
Mm-hmm.
So Cindy is interviewed. Let's skip forward to 2015 when this is happening. So she's interviewed, and here's what she says happened. Michael, they want her to go over her day like in its entirety. Not just that night, but like the whole day.
Yeah.
So Michael dropped her off at the courthouse where she worked as an accountant for the county. So this is Jefferson County Courthouse, which is located in downtown Birmingham.
All right.
I've been there more times than I'd like to count. He picked her up at 5 when she clocked out. They went by her mom's house to help her mom with something for a minute, but they were not there more than an hour. Then they went straight from there to church, which the hours for church that evening were 6 to 7 p.m. Then they stopped at Milo's to get dinner. And when they got home, Cindy set her dinner down and told Michael that she realized they needed some items from the grocery store. So she left to go to the Piggly Wiggly, which is about 15 minutes away in Warrior, which I grew up in Warrior. I know that city super well.
You've been to that Piggly Wiggly.
I have been there so many times. It's a cute little Piggly Wiggly. I like it.
I love Piggly Wigglies.
Mm-hmm.
Just for the name, honestly. Just for the name.
It's so good. Who does that? Who makes a Piggly Wiggly as a... It sounds like a restaurant sometimes. You know?
But it doesn't sound like it would be a grocery store.
Who makes that a grocery store and thinks that's going to go far, but then it does.
It does. Welcome to America.
The pig. Yeah.
Right.
So she went to Piggly Wiggly about 15 minutes away. When she returned, she found the door open and the table knocked over. And she said she didn't really look inside very much. She just immediately grabbed the cordless phone, which was near the door, and dialed 911. She did mention that there was a contractor that was helping them work on the house, and it could possibly have been him that did it.
Wow, she already has a suspect.
I was going to say,
late at night,
come up with a theory. Quick, girl.
Very quick. I don't think I would have a theory that fast. I'd still be in fucking shock.
I mean, maybe I'd have a theory if I was there and saw it, you know?
Touche.
Something like that. But detectives, whilst she's being interviewed, detectives that are outside of the interview room are catching rumors from citizens that she may be involved in something unsavory. So they were getting complaints recently of people having sex in the parking deck of the county courthouse where Cindy worked.
Okay, that's not where I thought this was going, but all right, there we are.
So there were people that worked at the courthouse alongside her that were from Morris.
Okay.
So, small town. They see something, they're going to say something.
Yep. That's some fresh gossip.
It is. Super fresh. Hot off the press.
I'd be like, you will not fucking believe what I saw at work today.
I mean, for real though.
Right.
So the rumor was that it was Cindy and another man and that they were having sex in a pest control van. Specifically, it's Cook's Pest Control.
Okay.
Shameless plug.
Right?
Yeah.
In a fucking hotel room. Shit.
It was her lunch break. No.
They got paid by the hour?
Woman. Yeah. Cindy's a godly woman. This can't be right. She wouldn't do that. Cindy denied this when they brought up that they'd heard something.
Yeah.
And she said, yeah, I'm a pure person. I wouldn't do that. So who was the man rumored to be with her? Well, it was none other than the pastor of Sardis Baptist.
God damn it.
And let me tell you, it's the same one that baptized Michael into the church. That's right. It's Pastor Jeff Brown. What a stupidly mediocre name, by the way.
It really is. This Brown is giving the Randy Stone case. It's the same.
It is. It is.
It's literally the same story, just different characters. Guys.
I tell you. How does it always end up this way? You know? So Jeff Brown was actually working for Cook's Pest Control at this time. So that checks the mark on the box, you know?
Yeah.
But Cindy and her friends, they were just like, this is so dumb. Like, we can't even fit into one of those trucks. So both Cindy and Jeff have larger bodies. So ergonomically, there would have been challenges. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
But not impossible.
Where there is a horny couple
penis, there's a vagina. Yeah. So Michael had also caught wind of these rumors when he was alive.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
But he did not believe this. No. He is all in, super in love with this woman. He's like, no. She would never. Mm-mm. They have a friendly relationship, her and the pastor, because she's the music director. Like it's going to happen, you know?
Oh.
And he said to another like friend of his that like he knew that Cindy and Jeff went walking together for exercise sometimes, but believed that it was totally innocent.
Ugh. Poor guy.
He sees the good. He sees the good. You know?
He does.
So detectives very gently too. Like I watched the whole interview with her. They were so gentle with Cindy when they asked her about her private life. They were just like, they literally said like, I'm sorry, I have to ask you about something so sensitive, but you know, we do need to ask the question. And she admitted that her and Michael were having issues before his death, that they had stopped having sex. And she had turned to Pastor Jeff for advice and opened up to him. And Cindy said the more that she and Jeff talked, the more she began to fall in love with him. So she fully admitted to the affair.
Wow.
She said that they were in love, but denied ever having sex in that parking lot at work.
Okay.
That's where it crosses the line.
I know why they have to be like super sensitive and like there's a whole reason what they're interviewing and why they do the way they do. I'd be like, you getting some?
You getting some now?
You boinking your pastor now?
Boinking.
I don't think I would. There, even if I probably wouldn't, but there'd be a part of me that would just want to just like flat out ask that.
I feel like they were more sensitive with her too because they knew her.
Oh, that's true.
Know?
It's like, very different when you have a relationship.
We can't forget that she was being questioned by officers that like
had somewhat of a relationship.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit.
That's true.
So,
that's true.
Well, the church elders, listen, the Baptist church, as we established, is a little more rigid in its rules and everything. So the elders from the church corroborated the rumor, and they could not be convinced that it was not Cindy and Jeff. And Cindy had actually resigned from music director because of the pushback from elders. This had happened like months before.
Oh, they were like, we don't believe you. We believe it's you're doing a little hanky-panky on the side.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So they took action. They like stood up for their beliefs. So like, that's not something you see often with these kind of cases.
Cindy, so after she resigned, she stated that's when things became physical with Jeff, to detectives. She admitted to having a sexual affair. An affair coming out mid-murder investigation is just not great. No. It's not great in general, but like...
No, not at all.
Spice to it. She denied shooting Michael. They asked her outright, like, did you shoot him? She said no. And she got choked up and said, like, I can't even shoot a dying animal.
Okay.
She said she had a lot of guilt about the affair and eventually had told Michael, because they were asking her, like, was this still a secret? You know, were you trying to keep him from finding out about this? And she said she felt so guilty that she ended up telling Michael about everything. So there was no real reason for her to kill him based on that if she was like trying to keep it a secret still. So they had actually just had a second honeymoon. Like they had come back within the last couple of days from a second honeymoon for their 5th anniversary. They went to Disney World and they were actively trying to fix the marriage.
Oh,
so she says, but yeah,
I just want to hug Michael. I just want to hug Michael. That's all I want to do.
Listen, and he looks like a teddy bear. Like, go look up a picture of him right now.
That's what I see him at. No, I just like in my head, I just see a teddy bear type of guy.
He's such a cutie though. He's just a little cute guy. Michael Reese, Morris, Alabama. Yeah. He's just so huggable.
There's a lot of A's in Alabama. Oh my God, he is. He's like what I pictured.
Exactly.
He's a little teddy bear.
He is just a baby. Just a girl. No.
Makes me sad.
I know. So she says that they were like in the middle of working on their marriage. Detectives then decide to call up Pastor Jeff. Jeff was extremely nonchalant, like super cash the whole time. He actually used some spiritual bypassing. Love that for him. So he was asked, like, so you're a man of God and you had an affair with a married woman? ? Like, how does that fly? And then Jeff was like, yes, absolutely. I had an affair. Don't hate the sinner. Hate the sin.
Okay. He pulled the homosexual
He was witnessing
quote.
to them.
He literally pulled the homosexual quote on himself for the
seriously,
sir.
The audacity. It's so hard watching the interview with him because he just puts up that front of like, I'm holier than you. I'm better than you. This is beneath me to be answering these questions. Like,
sir, this is a murder investigation. This is a fucking murder investigation.
And he was friends with Michael.
Yeah, he baptized him.
Friends with Michael. And then also, if we're taking the innocent route with Cindy and him, like from Michael's perspective, he was good friends with his wife. Like, he's good friends to them both. Why are you not more upset?
Yeah.
What's happening?
Why are you so nonchalant?
Well, he was also extremely defensive about the affair. So yeah, he admitted to it, but he was just like not wanting to talk about it in great detail. He was like gripping his chair in the interview. So like he had like white knuckle grip on the chair to like, it seemed like he was holding back information, like really trying to restrain himself.
Oh my.
Oh, and the elders, so they took action with Cindy, but they didn't just blame it on her, which was kind of awesome that they did this, but they fired Jeff as a pastor.
Fuck yeah, they did.
They said, you don't hold up our standards. You're not living by our principles. Therefore, you're cut. So they definitely fired him.
I'm so impressed. This church, you get a
standing
ovation that it was not just her, but you both are blinking. You both are having improprieties.
It's against the rules of that church. If you're going to play the game, you got to play by the rules.
Exactly. So, especially you're the pastor. Like, oh my God.
I know. Yeah. After he was fired, obviously his wife was told the reason for him being fired. And so they were in the middle of getting a divorce.
He was married too?
Oh yeah, he was married.
Oh my God. It literally is the Randy Stone episode, just all over again.
It's the worst.
Change the name, said boom.
Change the names. It's the same story, man. So Jeff said that he was concerned that Cindy was not divorcing Michael and that they were sleeping together again because they were working on their marriage.
Oh my God. What?
A married couple?
How dare they?
Jeff also said that Cindy described her sex life with Michael to Jeff. And he said it was nasty and he couldn't stand to think about Michael's hands on Cindy. But they were like, okay, well, that's motive. And he said, wait, I have an alibi. I was miles away on Carson Road, which is near Fultondale, Birmingham area, which is like 30 to 45 minutes away from their house in Morris. I'm very familiar with Carson Road, but yeah.
This man and his audacity.
I know. Yeah.
Like he's got enough to, go around. Jeez.
Mm-hmm. So he says he was on Carson Road at the time that Michael was shot. So there's no way he could have done it. He was headed to a friend's house. And so he denied shooting Michael. They outright asked him. He said, didn't do it. And they had to let him leave because they had no evidence to arrest. But they wanted to learn more on Jeff. So he was a father of 2 with 1 on the way. So he's divorcing his pregnant wife. Yeah.
Oh, you sucks. Piece of shit. You are a piece of shit.
Yeah, I agree. So now a former pastor and a former Marine and police officer. And he was also a hairdresser for like a week. Just a really weird resume, you know?
That is so random.
The town's building inspector, so the building inspector of Morris, he had some opinions that he shared about Jeff. He said Jeff was obsessed with Cindy. That he would often, he would like see him in the park. So in between, so it was the Reese's house. In the middle of that was a park. And on the other side was the police station.
Okay.
The park is very small.
Yeah.
Literally you can see right across it. It's very small. Yeah. But yeah, he said he would see him in the park and he would be watching Cindy's house. And
red flag.
He was like, weird. Like there was no reason for him to be doing that.
No. That's weird.
Gross. Weird.
Stalker. So that's stalker vibes right there.
I agree. And people just in general were not fond of Jeff.
Yeah.
Which is odd. Because like a pastor, your whole thing is to like market yourself as likable.
Yeah. He doesn't sound likable.
Yeah. Yeah. So Cindy was not the first rumored other woman.
Oh.
There were many.
Color me shocked.
I know. So he got around and pretty much everyone knew it. Another story that was circling after Cindy resigned and Jeff was fired was that Jeff would start showing up at Cindy's new congregation. So she and Michael started going to a different church, and elders at this new church noted that they would see Jeff like come in and sit down between the couple, like physically sit between them to put distance between them.
I have no words. It's a lot. Words that like, this would be only in the movies.
Truly. Like, and I've never known someone so bold.
Yeah. I don't know how Michael didn't just like fucking backhand the fuck out of him, trying to sit between him and his wife.
I have information from Michael. So at this point, Michael is still fighting for his marriage. He loved Cindy. So he went to Cindy's mom and said like, hey, Jeff is trying to steal my wife. And he also told her, I am afraid of Jeff. I think he would hurt me if he got the chance.
Oh no.
So scary thing too, about a month before the murder, Jeff had allegedly asked 2 of his coworkers to kill Michael, offering his car and a bunch of money as payment.
Is this another just hate the sin, not the sinner type moment?
Apparently so. And so the men had reported this to the police department, but in a different county. So they worked in a different county. So there was not any crossover. So this was information that they found out way later. That would have been better to know sooner rather than later.
Right.
But in Alabama, if you don't actually do something like physical, you pretty much won't get arrested, or like nothing bad's going to happen. So yeah, you've got someone that filed a report on you, but just because you say you're going to kill someone doesn't mean that they can do anything
unless they have like hardcore evidence. But even then, I think it's still, I think that's true probably for most of the United States. Like, okay, put a restraining order on that person. It's still only a piece of paper. Piece of paper. It's still only a piece of paper. So is that going to do any good?
It kind of sucks because like, it seems like you have to end up in a body bag before anything happens. And that's terrible. That shouldn't be that way.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Jeff, he had his alibi being far away from their house. So they checked his cell phone records and they couldn't get exact coordinates, but based on their findings, Jeff had lied. He was hundreds of feet from the Reese house at the time that the murder took place.
Oh, he lied. Oh no.
So they figured this out and they're like, okay, we're getting more stuff here. So Cindy, she is claiming like, yes, I'm an adulteress, but I'm no murderer. However, On the phone call to 911, she says she cannot find her husband,
Yes, exactly.
But you can literally, you can see it right down the hall.
They walk in and go, we found him.
So the burglar theory is not holding up because there was no forced entry.
Yeah.
This was someone that Michael knew and let in.
Yeah. And that's what I say. He was shot in the back of the head. If it was a burglar, he ain't going to turn his back on him,
No.
Well, I guess if he was running away, I guess there could be that.
Maybe, but... So the contractor that Cindy had accused had a solid alibi. He was actually in church service at the time, and multiple people saw him at the church service. So that's not gonna work.
Out of all places he could be, this bitch was in church. You ain't gonna pin a murder on me. I was in church, bitch.
I was worshiping.
I was where your ass should have been.
It's so true. So you remember the Milo's food? We're coming back to that.
Okay, let's wrap around.
So anyone who has ever eaten Milo's fries specifically, these are famous fries. They have the best seasoned salt on them in the whole world. They are only good if you eat them fresh and hot. Like right then and there. After they are made, that's when you eat them. You don't let them sit for 15 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever.
Okay.
So, and if they're reheated, just forget about it. No. So
they're not a reheatable.
No, you don't do that with these fries.
Okay.
So Cindy, after, she dropped off her food and then left for Piggly Wiggly, immediately, so, which is weird because you need to eat the fries or else when you come back, it's just going to be shitty.
Yeah. And why'd you pay for that food?
Everyone knows this. So
And you're not new. You're a local. You know this too.
Yes. And nothing that she needed from the store was that urgent. So she was going because she said they needed orange juice and lunch meat for the rest of the week. But officers looked in the fridge and found a decent amount of both. Plenty for the rest of the week and some for next week.
Okay. If this is your fucking alibi, pick something that you really are out of. I don't know. Throw out all your toilet paper and be like, I have to go get toilet paper to wipe my fucking ass. I'm so glad these murderers are so fucking stupid. Really, they got that going for them. And I'm happy about that.
So on the way to the store, supposedly, Jeff called Cindy and said he left his wallet at home and needed gas. So she met him at a gas station and gave him $50. Inappropriate if you're trying to work on your marriage, sis. I
know, right?
Say that. Officers decided they needed to search Cindy's work office for clues, and at her desk, she found 2 photos, one of her and Michael and one of her and Jeff. Oh my God, this woman. Girl.
She can't let go of that. Girl.
And they also saw a file on her desk labeled Jeff Brown, and inside was a lease for an apartment that she had rented for them and information on a car she had bought for them. They were going to build a life together. This was the long haul type of thing. This was not an affair that was like a little fling and done.
Yeah.
She was invested in this. So.
An apartment!
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We're getting to a gross part now, okay?
Oh no.
On both Jeff and Cindy's phones, detectives had to go through an enormous amount of sex pictures and all, which were being sent all the way up until the night of the murder.
No, poor Michael. Are you going to read some of them?
No, absolutely not.
I was going to say, if you're going to read them, you have to read them in the awkward voice that I do.
Absolutely not. I do not want to ever. No, I didn't even look them up because I don't want to see them.
You're like, I'm good. I can pass.
So if you weren't putting the puzzle together, here's the final straw for me. While Cindy and Michael were in church that night, February 18th of 2015, Jeff sent a text to Cindy and said, "Keep me posted." Y'all did something. Y'all did something. Y'all did it together. So
keep me posted about what?
The couple wanted to be together and Michael was in their way. So while in the car with Michael, Cindy calls Jeff secretly and leaves the line open. So on the phone records, they're able to tell when someone is talking versus just an open line where no one's at the speaker talking. So the line stays open. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I didn't know they could do that. That's cool.
I actually have a system like that at my desk job.
Oh, really?
Where I can see where you're talking and where you're not. So the open line. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
The line stays open the entire time that she drives to the store. Even as she's dialing 911, it stays on. She actually says, like, you can hear very faintly on the 911 recording, the phone's almost dead. Her saying the phone's almost dead. So when you dial 911, some people don't know this, but when you dial it, it immediately starts recording. So the ringing and stuff is recorded. Everything's recorded from that time that you hit the last one and hit dial.
No, I did not know that.
So
learn something new every day, folks.
Don't be saying shit. Yeah. So detectives' best theory is that Jeff was waiting nearby as they got home from church with dinner. Michael headed to the back to let their dog inside, and Cindy shot him in the head while he was turned away from her.
Oh my gosh. That's so sad.
That's their working theory. Under Alabama law, if you're involved with a murder in any way, you're charged equally. It doesn't matter who pulled the trigger. You're both guilty as fuck. So
that's how it is in Texas too.
I tell you,
you the getaway driver?
Almost anywhere with the death penalty treats your involvement the same way when it comes to murder. So
don't be a getaway driver because it's just as bad as pulling the trigger.
Pick your friends wisely. Pick your friends wisely.
Mm-hmm.
So police charged Jeff and Cindy with murder. Neither of them squeal on each other for a plea deal, until they're finally right there in court. While they're in court, Jeff turned to his lawyer and asked for a deal, admitting that he was involved, but that he didn't actually kill him. He pled guilty to manslaughter, agreeing to testify in Cindy's trial, which was the final nail in the coffin. So Michael's family and friends were in court for Michael's honor. Cindy's parents were there too. And they were actually convinced that Jeff was the real murderer and that she could do no wrong, but whatever.
What?
So remember when Cindy talked about the gas station thing? Her meeting up with him?
Yes.
To give him money for gas?
Yeah.
So this is what Jeff said. He said that they met up, like she told him, come to the gas station. And when he got there, she gave him the gun and said, get rid of it. And the first words out of her mouth to him, though, were, it's done. And then she said, here's the gun, get rid of it. I don't care how you do it. I don't want to know. Get rid of it. So there was no physical evidence linking Cindy to the murder, technically. So this was kind of hard. But Cindy's lawyers were saying, like, Jeff was the killer. He saw her as a means of a financial stability, and the trajectory of the bullet to Michael's head was down and not up, as it should have been, because she was like 3 inches shorter. But the jury rules that Cindy was guilty of murder, and so was Jeff. So as of today, Jeff Brown is serving a 20-year prison sentence at Staten Correctional Facility in Alabama, and Cindy is serving a 40-year sentence and is currently serving at Alabama Department of Corrections.
What year did this happen?
2015. So they won't get out.
That wasn't that long ago. Oh
I know. God. Yeah.
Shit. Biscuits.
I don't even remember this happening. I'm surprised I didn't hear more about it, but it was pretty quickly. It only took a year for the whole thing to be said and done.
Yeah. So, do you think she shot him, or do you think Jeff shot him?
See, that's the thing. We still don't know. I think...
Because how tall is Jeff?
Jeff is almost the same height. I think they're the same heights as Michael.
Okay.
I think,
So Cindy's 3 inches shorter than the both of them, basically, give or take a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I would be interested in hearing more of the science of, like, the trajectory of the bullet wound.
Me too.
Where it would be, because even if he is the same height as Michael, around the same height. I'm thinking if he's shooting him in the back of the head, then the bullet isn't going to go down. It's always going to kind of go up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
well, I had a thought on that with the trajectory thing, because we don't really know what happened leading up to the bullet. I think what happened, I do think that Jeff is the one that did it. But I think Cindy is equally to blame. I don't think she pulled the trigger because I feel like she's a coward in all ways. And I think she really couldn't choose between them. I think she actually really loved Michael, but she also really loved Jeff. I think Jeff, based on everything I saw with his interview, I know exactly the type of person he is. And I just feel like, I feel like what happened was he came over and was under the guise of like asking for help on something, or like wanting to just talk man to man about the situation with Cindy, and making Michael feel comfortable, possibly then like tripping him or pushing him and then pulling the gun.
Okay.
That's what I think.
My only concern with that is him being shot in the back of the head. And if he was going out there, let's say, to let the dogs out, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It lets you, or let the dogs in. Were the dogs inside? Because if the dogs weren't, so if the dogs weren't inside, that means he never got back there to even let them in. So
no,
it would have, in my opinion, had to have been Cindy. Like she would have, yeah. And if he didn't feel safe around Jeff. Like he straight up said that to,
true. Yeah.
And that he, Jeff could do something to hurt him. And so why would he turn his back that late at night? Like, why is Jeff coming here this late at night? I think he's already suspicious of the man.
True. And right after their honeymoon, he would probably be on high alert when he saw Jeff anyway. Because, like, it's obvious they're working on the marriage. It's obvious she's not coming back to you, and you're not letting up that you still want to be with her.
Yeah.
So, man, maybe it was Cindy. It's so hard.
Been either one. Yeah. I hate that Jeff only got 20 years. That's some bullshit right there.
It doesn't seem like enough for sure. No. I mean, at least he won't be able to like get a job in law enforcement again, or like as a pastor again. That's like the saving grace here. But
golly,
maybe one day we can interview him.
Right.
And be like, what the fuck happened, man?
I don't know. I don't want to interview him.
I don't really want to talk to him.
He can just go rot in a hole, because that's
fine. That'd be fine too.
Freaking Michael. He really is a teddy bear. I want you guys to go over to our Instagram and check out his pictures, because he's so freaking adorable.
He's so smiley and happy, and he's just good.
And she ruined him. And
God, she was so selfish, So just let him go if you want to be with someone different. You know, you obviously had the plan. You were going to go through with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I hate that.
I do too. That sucks. All right. Well, let's take
there was a little bit of justice, at least.
There was. Sure. Let's take a hard right turn into our palate cleansers.
Yes,
do you have one today?
Yes, I do.
I have a pre-palate cleanser. This isn't my official.
Tell me the pre,
because it's not a palate cleanser. But I found somebody who they work with like a handful of different clients and stuff, and one of their clients is like a really, really old lady, and she, guys, you're not gonna believe this. She was babysat by Ed Gein.
What?
Yeah.
This is not real.
It's real. It's real. She's a real old lady. She was,
oh my God.
She was babysat. Yeah. Because somebody was asking me, what's the worst, who do you think the worst serial killer is? And I'm like, it's a loaded question, because it just depends on are we talking gruesome? Are we talking sadistic? Are we talking just messed up in the head, or the one that gives you the most ick? It's just, they're all the worst in some kind of aspect. And I had brought up Ed Gein as an example. And then they were like, I actually have a connection to Ed Gein, and told me the story. And she said this client was like, you can stop by the house anytime and I'll tell you stories of Ed Gein. I was like, bitch, I would be there and like tell me these stories because I'm nosy as fuck and I need to know.
Spill it.
Crazy. And yeah, they said that they loved him babysitting and they enjoyed it. And he was a great babysitter and no problem.
Oh my God. I just can't believe that. That is wild.
I know. Cause like I had given like that episode isn't out yet. It is now by the time you guys listen to this, but it's, I had given like a little spoiler because I think this is during a live and I was just like, yeah, spoiler alert, Ed Gein used to babysit. And they were like, oh, and that's when they reached out to me afterwards and they were like, my client was babysat.
No.
I know. I was like, that's fucking crazy.
Why would you be babysitting anyone? Anyway.
Ed Gein.
Ed Gein.
All right. What's your palate filter?
There is now a new, safer RNA, a genetically specified pesticide has shown to be lethal to the destructive Colorado potato beetle, while leaving all other tested species, even the beetle's close relatives, unharmed. Every year, this native of the Rocky Mountains causes $500 million or more of damage across the northern hemisphere.
They be eating our damn potatoes.
They'd be eating them potatoes. So the company called Greenlight Biosciences has developed a spray marketed as Calantha in the USA that uses RNA interference technology to target a gene called PSMB5 that codes for a part of the cellular machinery that removes damaged proteins. If removed or inhibited, these dead or broken proteins build up and the larvae die within 6 days.
Nice.
Science, bitch.
Science, it is. I fucking love that.
So that's an incredible thing.
That is, because I tell you, when the beetles or the bugs attack a plant in your garden, it's over and it's devastating. And I my first year gardening.
It's so much hard work for nothing.
Dude, gardening is some fucking hard work. I tell you, like my whole entire zucchini crop, which is like 3 plants, it was decimated by those, what are they called? There's some kind of like not beetle. They're like these little grubs. I can't really think of the name of them, but they are super tiny and they lay their eggs. And when they hatch and they're super tiny, they burrow into like the stalk of the zucchini plant and then they just grow. And so you won't even know that these are inside your plant until your plant just starts oozing this like crumbly stuff.
No.
Then you have to like, that's what I had to do last year. I had to like cut open my stalk and peel it back and pull out all these grubs. And I pulled out like 6 of them. But then if you mound dirt on it, it will heal itself. But
still, it's so much.
It's so much. I saw a meme the other day that was like how to grow perfect tomatoes. And it was like step 1, spend 3 months cultivating and gardening your tomatoes. Step 2, that's all. Now you've saved $2.
Yeah.
I was like, I get that for sure.
It's hard work, but it is worth it once you find your rhythm and everything. And
my palate cleanser will just go straight into the same topic of gardening. My garden is producing a whole lot. Not a whole lot, but it's producing better than it did last year. And my tomatoes are just now starting to like turn red. And it's so bad. Once they turn red and like we bring them inside, they're gone. We eat them so fast. Like they're so good. And
I do too.
Just harvested I have the orange cherry tomatoes. Girl, those are like a candy. I had one today. The 2 of them turned ripe today. So my husband and I both had one. I was like, those are the best things ever. And they're so good. He is so excited because he like he likes taking like a sandwich bag full of cherry tomatoes and he will like eat a bite of his lunch and then pop a cherry tomato. And then pop a cherry tomato. He's like,
that's so good
with that in the summer. So he's really but my cucumbers are doing good too. I have made dill pickles and my spicy garlic pickles. Which I'm probably going to go upstairs and snack on my spicy garlic pickles. They're probably ready. Pickle. And I've used my own pickles, my own little pickling cucumbers from the garden.
Own cukes.
Pretty excited. I'm love
so
gardening.
Proud of you.
Even though it's like super hard. The only thing that I'm struggling with right now are my strawberries. They're like the size of my fucking pinky finger nail. They're so tiny. Some of them are getting bigger, but
strawberries are hard to grow.
Well, we bought like a whole bunch new ones, like this new breed, this new breed of strawberries
species.
And we planted them, and it took a while for them to like acclimate to the dirt. And I'm guessing, I should probably just Google this, but I'm guessing that the longer they sit in there and the more that they produce, the more they like, will grow bigger strawberries. One of them today, my husband was so excited. He was like, that's the biggest strawberry we've ever grown. And it's white. It's white. It's not even turning red yet. Like, he's so excited.
Yeah.
So just gotta give it a
fanboy.
He is. He's a fanboy of my garden. He loves it.
Excellent.
But yeah, that's my thought.
Very nice.
It's a good episode.
Right. Well, guys, thanks so much for tuning in, for listening to a little small town crime story
from Alabama.
And with that, please stay safe, stay skeptical,
and steer clear of the cultish carousel. Also, heathens, if you're enjoying the show so far, please rate, subscribe, and do all the things over on our Patreon right now. We've got some awesome, funny stories and potty podcast episodes, creepy, fun stories. So hit us up over there, $5 a month, and it just helps support this little podcast here with us. Also, we have merch, and my favorite is the death moth.
It's beautiful.
Little logo thing. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. I love it. I just got a t-shirt and a sweater, and it's comfy and cozy, and it's great quality print. So go get you some. That's always tagged below. Deadly Faith Podcast is brought to you by Acquirecast Network. It is produced by Laci Bean and Lola Robbins, and audio engineered by Eric Howell. Thanks for listening.